I just wanted to say three things before I get going. First, on behalf of Kathy and myself, thank you so much for your incredible support. And since it's support that we'll continue to need, can I draw your attention to the inside back cover of the Order of Service? There's an email address there for you to arrange to be with us. As it says, whether we know you well or hardly know you at all, we'd love to spend time with you. I think that's where Daniel began to get his extroversion. Second, they say it takes a village to raise a child. So thank you for being Daniel's village. We hope to have a memorial service for him later in the year, maybe 5th of October, when he would have turned 2. But we'll keep you posted. We're not entirely sure what we want. And if it happens, it will be an opportunity for us to share our memories. In the meantime, the third thing I want to say is that we've set up a fund by which you can remember him. And that fund will raise money for a meningitis charity. The fund can be found at daniel.horne.muchloved.com. Today, however, I don't want to dwell on the past. I want to dwell on the future. This is because the community who form around the resurrected Jesus believe that we will be resurrected as well. Those who trust in the resurrection of Jesus believe that one day they will be resurrected too. Christians agree on that much. Then, as so often, we disagree on the details. So allow me a moment to speculate. Kathy and I were with Daniel when he passed away at the hospital. This was around 3:30 in the afternoon. But we were told that we could be with him for as long as we needed. So we decided to stay until we had done his bedtime routine at the usual hour. Having washed his body, we sung him his bedtime songs and prayed with him as we normally would. We then left him asleep at around 7:30 that evening. So imagine this. Although Jesus is pretty clear that the institution of marriage is for this life and not for the next, there is nothing to say that Kathy and I can't be parents in the new creation into which we believe we will be resurrected. So imagine, as we put Daniel to sleep at the end of this life, so we perform his morning routine in the next. It goes something like this. Daniel wakes up around 6:30. I go to his cot and tell him to put his hands in the air, which he dutifully does. I pick him up. He rests his head against my cheek and rubs his eyes. I feel his hair against my face and kiss him gently. We go into the living room and I let him turn the lights on. It's a big treat, that. He sits on my lap as I sit on the sofa. I unzip his sleeping bag and I grab one foot. "He's got a footsie!" I exclaim as I take his leg out. Daniel smiles. I pause and I grab the other foot. "He's got another footsie! He's got 2 footsies!" Every morning, this never ceased to amaze Daniel. If he could articulate a CV, it would read, "My name is Daniel, I like ducks, and I've got 2 footsies." Now imagine that Daniel's first experience of the resurrection is his morning routine, and that we can pick up where we left off in our parenting. That's as real as Jesus eating fish. In fact, and this is speculation, perhaps the first 20 years of eternity are spent parenting the kids who never made it. And if that turns out to be true, then perhaps our unmarried friends are a taste of the new creation. By helping us to raise Daniel in London over Sunday lunch, our unmarried friends are a foretaste of the global village who will raise kids in the city of the new creation. And if it turns out to be true that the first 20 years of eternity are spent parenting the kids who never made it, then might I ask this of you? At Daniel's baptism last year, this church community promised to help us to raise him. Will you do so again in the new creation? Will you take him to see the ducks and the diggers? These will be the ducks and the diggers of the new creation that will be as real as Jesus eating fish. But you will have to fight us for him. You'll have to come through us first. And incidentally, when you leave this building, I do not want anyone to look at a duck ever without also thinking of Daniel. Of course, you may not believe in the resurrection of Jesus, in which case perhaps we're to be tolerated at best, pitied at worst. Either way, it does beg the question, if not a physical resurrection, then what did happen that first Easter morning? We are sure, we do believe, since Jesus was raised from the dead, those in his community will also be raised. And we can speculate. Daniel will be raised as we knew him, as a toddler. Everything will be restored. Everything will be made new. Christ is risen.